am grateful, very grateful to Diane, because it gives us a different platform, a different space where we can amplify our voice and the voice of those we work with.
Diane has really shown us that she is committed to long-lasting support to the climate justice movement. So all I can feel is gratitude, honor, and inspiration for Diane's leadership.
Her passion and energy that you hear her speak of for women, it is going on all the time.
The fashion designer, feminist icon and philanthropist Diane von Furstenberg sits down for the CNBC Conversation. Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Tania, Bryer, and I've travelled to Venice to sit down with a woman who's proud to be in charge, Diane von Furstenberg. She's a fashion tour de force whose iconic wrap dress is celebrating its 50th anniversary. But Diane von Furstenberg is much more than just a designer. As an entrepreneur, she established her eponymous label in the early 1970s, an era when fashion was primarily led by men. It's now a multi-million-dollar company, available in over 70 countries worldwide, and that wrap dress remains one of its biggest sellers. As the business grew, so did her passion for philanthropy. 15 years ago, Diane, alongside the von Furstenberg Family Foundation, created the DVF Awards to recognise and support women who are transforming lives. One of those being honoured at the 2024 event was Graça Machel, founder of the Graça Machel Trust.
It is an honor. It is a huge joy. Because, it's not about me. It's about the work I have been doing, which has brought together literally thousands of people, because I have a long life. So I've been working with different teams, with different organizations. So when we receive an award like this, we feel our work is being recognized, is being valued. It is because it is making an impact on the world. So it feels great, and really I'm grateful.
Her award was presented by Oprah Winfrey, a past DVF Award recipient. Oprah joined Diane at the beginning of our conversation, just ahead of the event itself. Diane, Oprah, thank you so much for joining me today at the 15th anniversary of the DVF Awards. What did you want to create with it at first, Diane?
When you start having a voice, or when you start being able to give people exposure, you find out that you can do a lot. And my son suggested, he said, with our family foundation, you should create an awards. And I was a little shy, because how do you create an award? But anyway, we did, and it's now 15 years, and we have given awards to exceptional women who had the courage to fight, the strength to survive, and leadership. And every one of these women, is not a movie, it's 10 movies. And they are so resilient, and they do so much.
Oprah, you're a recipient of an award, the Leadership Award, back in 2012. What did that mean for you?
Well, one of the things I learned over the years is that the thing that connects us all as human beings is understanding that we are seen and that we are heard and that what we say or do matters. And so what the Leadership Award did for me was to say, girl, you're doing all right. You're on the right path, that the work that you have given your passion to is seen by other people and felt in a way that we want to honor you for it. And I think anybody who receives an award, whether it be the new recipients of the DVF or the ones who are coming back to showing us what they've done, nobody is out here doing any kind of work in service, Tania, that is looking for an award. But if you're going to get one, it's nice to come to Venice to get it, may I say. This is my first time in Venice, and I'm like, well, if you gotta give out an award, this is the place to do it. And I'm really excited because I actually get to give an award to a woman who I have such high regard for Graça Machel, who is the former wife of Nelson Mandela. And I've spent time with her and haven't actually seen her since the funeral. So that's going to be a big moment for me to be able to share what I feel so strongly about are her strengths, and to be able to share that with all the other women and let the world know how we are honoring Graça Machel. So I'm excited.
What do you feel the biggest challenges facing women and girls today? What are you most concerned about?
I'm most concerned about the ability to continue to make choices for yourself and your life. You know, I've spoken my whole career about people being able to live their best lives, and, you know, did shows about it, created a magazine around it. There is no best life if you don't have choice over your own reproductive self, and choice over when you get to have your child, or whether or not you have birth control or not have birth control, whether or not you could use IVF or not IVF. And so I think the most basic primal choice is being able to decide when and how to have children, and whether or not you choose to bring children into the world and take on that responsibility. So I think that's major for right now, and if we can just get that fixed, we'll be doing a lot for women in the world.
Are you surprised that women are even facing that kind of
Totally.
choice?
Totally. Yeah.
Totally. I mean, I'm a baby boomer. I mean, we thought we had invented freedom and we had made I'm part of the liberation. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
And unacceptable.
And that is why it's so good to bring women together for an event such as DVF Awards, because it allows women collectively to understand the power that we hold individually. And I think wherever women gather, there is a sense of, wow, we really are more powerful than we imagined, and we can do great things in the world.
How would you describe Diane?
Oh my God, don't make me weep.
Oh.
Do not make me weep. This is what I want everybody to know about Diane. The Diane that you see, that Diane, this Diane, she is that way in the morning in a bathrobe, okay? It's a very glamorous DVF bathrobe, but I would have to say this, that her passion and energy that you hear her speak of for women, it is going on all the time. We're sitting at the lunch table, at the breakfast table, at the dinner table. Her desire to have women in particular, all people, but women in particular, do well in the world. It's contagious, because I think anyone who comes around her ends up feeling the same way, emboldened by her desire and her passion to empower other women, and it's real. I mean, it's real. If you're in a conversation and things start going into politics and start getting negative, she will stop the conversation and say, we have to turn the energy around, and we have to think about what's going to be positive and what's going to be good, and how do we help this person, and it's always a woman that we're helping. Yes.
Oprah, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about Diane.
Oh, honey, thank you so much.
As Oprah mentioned, the 2024 DVF Awards were held in Venice, Italy. It's a city that has special meaning to Diane, and she now has a home here.
I came in this very apartment when I was 20 years old. I was dating who will then become my husband and the father of my children. This palazzo belongs to his aunt, and I was so impressed. She lived here, and I was so impressed by this world and the glamour and everything. And now, 57 years later, I live here. So it's very important, if you want me as an older woman to give advice to anyone, I think the most important thing is to be true to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Own who you are and do the best you can. Because you can't, you don't know what's going to happen. And we all have good things and bad things, and learn how to design your life, but you cannot do that unless you are true to yourself. That is the number one necessity.
And of course, the DVF Awards are here.
And the DVF Awards came here 3 years ago. I mean, this is the third year, and it's not going anywhere.
It will stay here.
Yes.
This will be the home.
Yes.
Is it hard to choose the women you're going to honour over the past 15 years and looking at the criteria and the difference that they've made?
Yeah, but they stay in the family. We know them, we continue to know them. There's a few more past honorees who are coming. I'm very happy that I've started this, and I'm very thankful to my son, to my husband, to our family foundation. And for next year, I'm going to try to quantify how many people it has actually affected over the years.
Still ahead, the fashion moment that changed everything.
It's the dress that you get the man in and his mother doesn't mind. So it's both sexy and proper at the same time.
Diane von Furstenberg's name is synonymous with the wrap dress. This iconic piece of fashion made its debut in 1974 and was an immediate sensation, with 1 million of them being sold in just 2 years. 50 years later, the wrap dress is still a bestseller and a wardrobe staple seen on everyone from royalty to celebrities.
Can I take you back to that moment, Diane, when you created the wrap dress? What happened?
So I was a young girl who had made these little dresses in Italy, and by the time I was starting to make these samples in Italy, I got pregnant, married, and had 2 children, basically in 13 months. And at the same time, I was making the samples. So then I came. I didn't know what I was doing, but you know, I lived this American dream. And I was a young, very young woman with 2 children, with a business that was booming in a country that I didn't know. And I just went for it. And it was good, it was bad, it was erratic. My marriage didn't really survive, but I did the best I could.
What do you think it was about the dress that came to represent freedom for women?
Well, the dress is pretty, listen, I designed the dress. I created the dress, but truly the dress created me, right? So why? Well, first of all, the fabric. The fabric was this great jersey that molded the body. Then it was the prints. And my prints, they always move. And then you put these prints on this fabric that molds your body, and you go, ugh. And then all of a sudden it molds your body. It changes your body language. Men notice it. I mean, and so the more people notice it, the more happy you are with yourself. And somebody said something very funny once. It's the dress that you get the man in and his mother doesn't mind. So it's both sexy and proper at the same time.
And of course, now this year, you're celebrating 50 years of it. How much progress do you think women have made in the last 50 years?
How much progress women have made? I don't know. It goes in, it goes out. But you know, I have great faith in the very young generation of my grandchildren. They really care about nature. And my generation, we really were not good to nature. And unless the humans make some kind of peace with nature, it's not going to be good. Nature will survive, but humans won't.
Talking of survival, Dan, you've been very open about successes and failures, both personally and professionally. What got you through those challenging times?
You know, the funny thing is that after, it's like pain. Okay, you may be very much in pain. When the pain is gone, you really don't remember the pain. You remember, oh yes, I was in pain, but you don't remember the pain. So you have to go through life and face challenges as they are. And then very often, when you have something negative, when something negative happens to friends of mine, I call them and I always say, these moments will be your best anecdotes when you write your book or when you do your TED Talk. You know, so bad things, you have to own it, you have to manage it, you have to do the best. And because of it didn't go this way, another door opened that may be better. And therefore, you have to trust the flow.
DVF, of course, is a brand that has evolved over the years. What does it represent today?
Well, right now, actually, this week I announced that I took my brand back. So when COVID came, I thought, you know what, maybe it's the time to give it up, to forget about it. I didn't want to sell all my archives and everything, and then it would be all over. So that I knew I wanted to keep. My partner, my distributor in China, distributed it. So I had time to do the inventory. What does this brand mean? Does it mean anything at all? And then I realized that, yes, it was an iconic product, dress, that has been selling for 50 years, which has never happened to a dress before. It is a huge archive of prints that allow me to have a design vocabulary. And it is also very much of a woman's story, and therefore a woman story all through the years. So I actually, when I started, there was no social media, but I was doing social media before social media existed. I went to more personal appearances in more cities, and people say, who is this person? And I was discovering America, I was discovering department stores, malls. I was the youngest of everyone. But so I communicated, and I would go in fitting rooms and wrapping them around, and all of a sudden making them feel secure. The same when I had a makeup line, I would go and do makeup. And so I actually have had a very personal relationship with women for over 50 years. So I've touched so many generations, because I certainly touched my mother's generation, because if I was 25, she was 47, right? And then my generation, and then my daughter's generation, and then my granddaughter's generation, and soon I get the other ones, But because I was always honest, that's why I was able to fall, to break, to come back, because I was honest. I shared the thing. And to be honest is the most important thing.
Coming up, we head to the 2024 DVF Awards.
I'm actually very nervous, which is rare, and I'm so emotional.
Diane, tonight's the night, the 15th DVF Awards. How are you feeling?
Well, right now I'm actually very nervous, which is rare, and very emotional. The women who are here tonight are so extraordinary, and they've been so complimentary, and Venice, and it seems like as I enter the winter of my life, this is all making sense. And the women that we honor are badass women who really get things done, and over they go on, they're resilient, they have the strength, the courage, the leadership, the compassion, and to be all here. So we are here, we give an award, we give a party. So we give support, which is money. We give visibility. In order to give visibility, you have to also get people who are famous, so that journalists talk about it. And then we make connections. We connect people together, and that is really important. And so it's miracles happen from here, and I want everybody to just connect.
Two of this year's honorees are looking to bridge an increasingly hostile divide. Reem Hajjajra is a Palestinian who founded Women of the Sun, and Dr. Yael Admi is the Israeli founder of the Women Wage Peace Movement. They are calling for peace in the Middle East.
Our work is quite challenging, especially in these horrible days. But we know that this is our role as mothers, as women, to continue on the march of peace. Because otherwise, too many people from both sides are suffering day and night, and we have to stop it. We have to finish and to end this cycle of bloodshed, and to stop the board and to bring the hostages back home and to begin the march for peace. This is our duty as mothers, as citizens, as responsible people in these terrible days.
Reem, how do you work together with Yale? You founded Women of the Sun in 2021.
احتياجنا لفتح الحوار بيننا وبين الجانب الإسرائيلي كان جدا مهم من أجل فهم عقلية الآخر وإيجاد لغة مشتركة نخرج بها للعالم ولمجتمعاتنا أيضا كيفية التعامل مع بعضنا عشان نقدر نستمر ونعيش. ما كانت بالعملية السهلة لكن قدرنا نتجاوز كل المراحل، عززنا الثقة بيناتنا وإحنا مستمرين في تحقيق السلام والحرية لكلا شعبين.
Another recipient is Shia Bastida, a climate activist from Mexico who co-founded the Re-Earth Initiative. What impact will this award have on the work that you do?
We are committed to, at my organization, Re-Earth Initiative, redistributing 100% of the award to small grants for community change makers, youth change makers across the world. So we're planning on doing around 30 to 50 grants that are going to enact and push for climate change that is all solutions oriented.
What more needs to be done? What do you want governments, the private sector to do?
I think we first need to listen to the science. The science has been telling us for a long time that we are passing 1.5 degrees of warming. What we really want governments to do is to really take the science seriously for the sake of the future, but also to stop the proliferation of fossil fuels, because we know that that has to stay in the past now.
Diane, do you want the impact of these awards to go beyond you? But what is the message for women today?
The message for women, and for everyone really, but the message for women to do is what my mother taught me. Fear is not an option, and never be a victim, no matter what happened. My mother was in Auschwitz. She was in the work camps, in the death camps. At the age of 22, she stayed there for 13 months. By the time she was liberated, she weighed 49 pounds. She wasn't supposed to be alive. Her mother, her parents couldn't believe that she came back, but she came back. Her mother fed her little by little, like a little bird, and within a few months, she gained her weight. Her fiancé came back from Switzerland. They got married, and the doctor said, you have to wait 3 years to have a child because you won't make it and your child will not be normal. 9 months later, I was born. And in a way, I wasn't normal. You know, so my mother used to say, God saved me so that I can give you life. By giving you life, you gave me my life back. You are my torch of freedom. So in a sense, I was born with the torch of freedom in my hand, which for a little girl could be a little heavy, but it's a great thing to have. And therefore, it was always, you know, no matter what, go forward and go for it. Because, you know, we don't choose our parents, we don't choose where we are born, we don't choose our destiny. But what we can choose is how we navigate this destiny.
What other values do you think your mother instilled in you, Diane, that have helped you achieve such success?
Well, actually, the mission statement of the awards were inspired by what my mother showed, which was the courage to fight, the strength to survive, and the leadership to inspire. And I think that says it all. You need courage to fight, no matter what, always. You need strength to survive. And then you need leadership to inspire.
I have to ask you, you've won so many awards yourself. You've been honoured numerous times over your life and career so far. Can you pinpoint a proudest moment?
Well, I mean, to listen to Oprah talk about me, that was pretty good. I like that. That was very nice.
Diane von Furstenberg, thank you so much for talking to me.
Sadly, that's all we have time for this episode. For more CNBC Conversations, head to our website. I'm Tania Bryer, here in Venice. Thank you for watching. people realize how